The last performer before I perform is Concetta Abbate. Now, Concetta Abbate, I did meet at Green Pavilion. There's all these greens going on. Shades of Green, Green Pavilion. This is E.B. Ivy's poetry reading. Now, what can I say about Concetta? She's a violinist, violist, vocalist, composer, orchestrator. She lives in New York City. She began studying classical violin, but later on moved into many other genres, folk music, tango, flamenco, various other styles. Now, let's see, she studied at Smith College, and she writes original songs about science, folk tales, poetry in Spanish, but I would call them mythic poems. And I bought her CD, which I highly recommend. It's called Falling in Time, and Concetta has some copies. You should be interested. I wrote 7 poems myself, inspired by her CD, and I was at her CD opening party at Rockwood, which sold out. It was fantastic. Now, she's performed at the Rubin Art Museum, Eastman School of Music, Tillis Center, here at Cornelia Street Cafe, Columbia University, and so on. She had a residence as a visiting composer in Germany at TAKT. What is that? Takt Gallery Beat in German. She performed there and taught there in summer of 2014. And she's known for her work with poet Cornelia Street and Charlie Rao. And she's going to perform tonight with Josh Martin on bass clarinet. Now, she's also the musical director of a one-room schoolhouse in Brooklyn called Still Waters in a Storm. And there was a fundraiser for this, and she would have to explain to you later. Salman Rushdie and Joshua Bell helped to raise money for this schoolhouse. So I'm very honored that Concetta has agreed to perform with us, with Josh Martin. And let's hear a warm welcome for the two of them.
Thank you. I'm going to open by singing the title track from my album, Falling in Time. And yes, I have copies. They're $10 each, so you can talk to me after if you're interested. Falling in time, falling in time, falling in a cloud of tomorrow, looking for a key we can borrow, and many days are too many roads that we could climb. I'm not the one. I'm not the one. I'm not the answer that you'll find. Only to wonder and unwind, and many days are many lines, too many roads that we could climb.
the next song is actually one of mine. It's a song I wrote as a setting from a scene from Virginia Woolf's To the Lighthouse. It's a scene where Lily Briscoe, a painter, is painting Mrs. Ramsay, who she kind of seems like she might be in love with, but kind of hard to tell. And it's also about just like starting a creation. She's starting this painting, and it's really hard when you're first, like you see a blank canvas and going for that first thing. There's a lot of thoughts that come up in that. So I thought Virginia Woolf really like picked that really well, and so I kind of just adapted a lot of her words for this song.
Also, if you were at my album release show, Josh was playing. Yeah, he played flute and clarinet and oboe. Yeah. Yeah, Josh is multi-talented.
From the palette the brush descends, and Lily's mind is swept in darkness. The shape of her face becomes clear, its brilliant curves, and all she can do to hold her passions. She mustn't fear what she thinks. She must be what she sees. Into the palette the brush descends, and Lily feels as though she's trapped in a cave. All her inadequacies, the bristles rush, and all she wishes is to lay at her feet. She mustn't fear what she thinks. She must paint what she sees. What would she say to her, to say that she loves her dear, or more that she loves it all? Her children, her house on the shores of the sky by the lighthouse. She puts her brushes down, and she puts the canvas away.
Oh, okay, so it's become like a tradition of mine to like throw a jazz standard into my set. So tonight we're gonna play the song Whiskey.
Look at me, I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree, and I feel like I'm clinging to a cloud I can't understand. I get misty just holding your hand. play. Or it might be the sound of your hello. That music I hear, I get misty the moment you're near. You can say that you're leading me on, but it's just what I want you to do. Don't you notice how hopelessly I'm lost? That's why I'm following you on my way. Would I wander through this wonderland alone, never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove? I'm too misty and too much in love.
So I threw the last one at Concetta. We were going to do another jazz standard, but I figured since it's a poetry reading, I wrote this poem 2 weeks ago, and I've been loving singing it for people, because I don't really have a melody for it yet, so it's just sort of like this improvised song, but the form for it is just, I feel like Concetta will pick it up. She hasn't heard it yet. So we're just going to do it. We're just going to do it together, and it's going to be great. Are you ready? C minor chord. Lurking out of murky waters, I see an unfathomable expanse of questions. Here in my bowl, I know every colored pebble. I can see my limitations, but I know that I can't be held accountable for time and how I spend it. It is my job to occupy myself. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Some days you're here and make for me a friend with your finger. In those moments I am held in existential terror. But worse are the times when I sit here watching the unmoved image of your living room.